It is Monday, the 18th of May, 2026. Thank you for joining us. You're watching the main news on ZBC live from Pocketsville in Harare. I am Mona Lisa Dube.
And my name is Malvin Matava, and today Susan Masona interprets our bulletin in sign language.
Our top stories this evening. The 90-day public consultation window on Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill closes at midnight today.
In the arts, Miss Universe Zimbabwe 2026 final 18 contestants announced.
And in sports, the National Sports Stadium handed to the government after major refurbishment works. The President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, says the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill has met the dictates of the Constitution, according to his brief. He was speaking in a wide-ranging interview with our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, at State House in Harare this Monday.
The 90 days are ending today, the constitutional.
Okay.
Yes. And what is your take concerning the end of the 90 days?
I think the public was given opportunity to express their views. I don't think there is a part of the country which was left out from what I've been briefed by my people. I think also the press has done a fantastic job. They made sure it was publicized so that everybody had the opportunity of expressing themselves. This is what it ought to be in a democracy.
We are in this building where John Rothero, Clifford DuPont used it to operate from. And we see there is something happening outside.
Well, yes. First and foremost, this is Zimbabwe. Those were foreigners. That's why they're not here. And I don't think they'll ever come back again. They come here and conquered our forefathers, but we kicked them out. And it's permanently ours.
So the new structure is the new...
Yes, this is our new headquarters we are building for ourselves. This was designed by colonialists. We are going to design our own as the people from Mtapa.
So those people who are saying that you have disappeared there.
When I go out, I don't go to villages saying Dagubuda. They get told that the president was found. Oh, now do tangana tenderani mission dagufamba and those renters also. Mambano gufamba kanangu yake kwani yakufamba.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Meanwhile, the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill consultation window closes today at midnight, paving way for the parliamentary processes to commence. Our political editor, Bruce Chawanda, has the details.
Finally, it is here, the 18th of May 2026, the 90-day period given by Parliament for the public to submit their views regarding the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 bill is lapsing. This gives ample time for Parliament to collect and review information gathered through written documents as well as that one delivered electronically. The process began with the approval by Cabinet on the proposals, which later culminated into the gazetting of the document by the Speaker of Parliament, Advocate Jacob Mdenda, on the 16th of February, and was followed by the public consultations by Parliament, which went across the country's provinces for 4 days. Political analyst Mr. Gabriel Chaiva believes the process was democratic.
It is now evident that the Constitutional Amendment Bill No. 3 has received overwhelming support from the generality of our people. And I think it has gone further to demonstrate that it's unstoppable. That's what the people of this country want. That is what the ruling party wants. The generality of Zimbabweans, that is what they want. Political stability, economic development without distractions of a perpetual election mode that we have been experiencing.
Another political analyst, Mr. Elton Ziggy, is of the view that the processes that were undertaken by Parliament are credible for an amendment of the Constitution.
The processes that have been undertaken speak to the democratic evolution that is taking place in fulfillment of the proposed amendment for Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. And the 90-day period represents a participatory democracy, a democratic process of the citizens taking part in the process of formulating the supreme law of the land that is going to govern the land for posterity. Secondly, it also speaks to the adherence of constitutional requirement in terms of abiding by what the Constitution stipulates and dictates with regards to amendment of the self.
The lapsing of a 90-day period will give ample time to Parliament to review the information gathered, while also giving a platform to the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, to go for the first reading. Among other provisions, the Constitutional Amendment number 3 bill seeks to extend the electoral cycle from 5 to 7 years for the president, councillors, as well as the legislators. The bill also seeks to establish the Zimbabwe Delimitation Commission, while also taking the management of the voters' roll from the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to the Registrar General's office. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
The new Chief Justice of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Justice Elizabeth Gwawunza, has dismissed the misconception that the local judiciary is captured, saying the court system in Zimbabwe is independent.
I am Zimbabwe, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. By virtue of the powers vested in me under the Constitution, do hereby call upon you, Justice Elizabeth Chiedza Gwawunza, to take the judicial oath of affirmation as Chief Justice of Zimbabwe in the form set out in the third schedule of the Constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
I, Justice Elizabeth Chiedza Gwawunza, do swear that I will be faithful to Zimbabwe.
7 individuals took their oaths of office in front of the President. First was the new Chief Justice of the Republic, Justice Elizabeth Gwawunza, who said it's a plus for the girl child, and also that the judiciary in this country is not captured.
There are challenges there. There are dangers there. There is sexual harassment at the workplace, as we know. There is sexual harassment. There is all sorts of abuse that can be visited on a girl or a woman who is, in the workplace. She would have to bear the burden, maybe at that time, of being a mother, having perhaps started a family. She has to play the role. She has to balance the scales of being a mother, of being a worker, competing with the men at the workplace. Will she be promoted at the same pace as their male colleagues? Most probably not, because male colleagues had more time to devote to their career.
Justice, you're taking over the judiciary at a time when there are so many people accusing the bench for having been captured by the executive. What do you say to that?
Don't listen to what people say. Not, as long as you are happy with yourself, with your performance, that is enough.
So this whole thing is a perception by certain people out there.
It depends on interests. People have different interests in life. So people go to court. They expect a judge to deal with a matter that is placed before them. And they always, each side will expect to win. But unfortunately, only one side can win.
Justice Gwawunza's deputy is Justice Paddington Garwe. Then there was also the swearing in of the Deputy Minister of Lands and Rural Development, Comrade Tsitsi Zhou. She said this is also a plus for the girl child. The new Auditor General of Zimbabwe is Madame Vimbai Chikwenere, who was having the same post in St. Helena Island. She said she's there for transparency and the probity in the finances or the public purse.
There's been a lot of expectation that's been there for the girl child to rise. But it's not just for myself in terms of the recognition, but also the other girl children that are rising and they have other people to look forward to. So it's a great honor.
The leakages in government or in other parastatals, how are you likely to plug the leakages?
The good thing that is there is that we have the Constitution of Zimbabwe, which gives a clear mandate for the Auditor General. And leakages will always be there, but we have international standards that guide us on how to plug them. I think firstly what's going to be key is establishing trust with our stakeholders, because it's important to have the same values and to have some collaboration. And in that way, we'll find ways of then curbing those leakages.
Others who took the oath of office is the Deputy Chair of the Health Commission, Dr. Abigail Kangwende, who also had other officers of the Health Service Commission like Dr. Lioba Tendai Gunduza and Ernest Manyau. They also took the oath of office as members of the Health Service Commission. Ruben Barwa, ZPC News, Harare.
Now on to other news. The Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga says Zimbabwe stands ready to work with the international community in promoting sustainable modern housing systems to address urbanization challenges.
In his address during the Leaders Summit for the World Urban Forum, Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, who is representing President Emmerson Mnangagwa, revealed that government is committed to working with the global community.
The 13th World Urban Forum should foster global collaboration and strengthen political commitment and practical strategies to address the global housing crisis, including informal settlements and homelessness affecting nearly 3 billion people worldwide. The summit offers Zimbabwe a strategic opportunity to reaffirm its commitment to the global development agenda.
The Vice President also outlined Zimbabwe's infrastructure development agenda.
Zimbabwe emphasizes transforming urban spaces into engines of economic growth, innovation, and social inclusion, with expectations that the summit will deliver practical strategies to turn urbanization into drivers of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Zimbabwe is aware that government alone cannot meet the housing demand due to competing priorities and limited resources, and therefore highlights the role of the private sector in financing, construction, and innovation through public-private partnerships.
The World Urban Forum is the global premier conference that was formed by the United Nations Human Settlements Program in 2001 to examine the impact of the most pressing issue that is affecting the world today, that is rapid urbanization and its impact on cities, communities, economies, climate change, and overall policy decision making. Stanley James, ZBC News, Baku.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe is participating at the Conference on Digital Industry in Russia, commonly referred to as a CIPR conference, with Vice President General retired Constantino Chiwenga expected to represent President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa at the meeting.
The conference brings together governments, technology companies and industry leaders from across the world to examine how emerging technologies are reshaping economies, jobs, healthcare systems, education and manufacturing. Zimbabwe's top envoy to Russia, Ambassador Mark Gray Marongo, says the rapid growth of artificial intelligence is transforming the way countries operate and Africa must prepare for the technological shift.
We are getting a lot of new developments in the communication industry. the digitalization was long looked at as if it was a periphery subject in our day-to-day lives. But with advances in this technology, we are being forced to enter eras that are far behind what we anticipated. I'm here referring to artificial intelligence.
Ambassador Marongwe says that the conference is important for Zimbabwe as it creates a platform for countries to exchange ideas on how to adapt to fast-changing technologies while exploring opportunities in innovation, industrialization, and skills development.
They would like to share ideas as to how nations should prepare for this eventuality of technology taking away some of the tasks from us. They are going to look at the manufacture of microchips, the raw materials required, the supporting institutions that are going to teach people to be able to manufacture these or repair them, the whole gamut of the economy.
Zimbabwe is also expected to use the platform to engage Russian companies interested in investment and industrial cooperation as Harare continues broadening economic and technological ties with Moscow under the Second Republic's engagement and re-engagement policy. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Nizhny Novgorod.
Now back home, beneficiaries of the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's Aviation Scholarship Program at the Central Transport Services have now moved beyond the basic training circuits and are now taking longer flights to various destinations around the country. Now, our reporter Colette Musanyera has that detail.
For these students at Charles Prince Airport in Mount Hamden, the roar of an engine used to be just a sound from above, but it has now become the sound of their future taking off. These 6 young Zimbabweans, once held back by circumstances, are now charting their own course across the sky. Through the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's Aviation Scholarship Program under the Angel of Hope Foundation, these students have moved from classroom lessons to solo flights, logging nearly 100 hours in the air and proving that opportunity changes trajectories. Training at Central Air Transport Services, CATS, at Charles Prince Airport, the group has progressed beyond basic circuits. They are now undertaking longer cross-country flights with destinations including Kariba, Marondera, Shamba, Bindura, Domboshava, Manaples and Chegutu already. Pane, Emmanuel Tika of Insuza, Delani Dube of Gwanda and Benjamin Muturuka of Mondoro, the cockpit has shifted from a distant aspiration to a daily workspace. Selected through a competitive process for academically gifted students from disadvantaged backgrounds in 2024, they are now building the discipline and skill required of professional pilots. A recent visit to CATS offered a clear view of how far they have come. One by one, the trainees taxied onto the runway, lifted off with steady control, and returned for clean landings. The first time flying alone is a moment if you forget. The angels, as they are affectionately known, admitted to grappling with nerves, with some turning to prayer and gospel music in the cockpit to steady themselves before takeoff during their first solo trips. That anxiety has given way to confidence.
With the initiation program where we had the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, come over to help us initiate into the program, I was fortunate enough to be selected to fly for her, and I also saw videos after where she was clapping hands for me that really motivated me, and it also made me feel happy because I was a girl being selected where there's also boys amidst me. It motivated me, and it also goes with what Angel of Hope was initially made for. It's for encouraging girls to soar to excellence and reach for the skies.
I'm very grateful for Angel of Hope Foundation because Flight training was a non-starter for me. I grew up in Lupane with no idea where I was going to start, but here I am soaring to excellence. I soloed on the 23rd of June, and it was one of the best days of my life because I knew I had control of the airplane and I landed it safely, then qualifying me to call myself a pilot.
I've managed to do my PPL, completed my PPL. Right now I'm doing my commercial instrument rating and night rating. So I started here at KITS in August 2024 under sponsorship of AMI. My journey in aviation basically has been an interesting one. It has groomed me not only in aviation, but as being a person, interactions, mindset. It has been groomed in aviation. I've learned how to work as a team. When I went on my first solo, it was probably, I was told the day I went solo, it was a surprise. But it was a beautiful surprise. So when I went solo, it was a bit like this. Then as I took off, it started drizzling a bit. And then I was a bit scared up there with drizzling. But with the proper training I received, I stayed in control of my aircraft, came back at the best landing of my life.
So, didn't anger for the first time, later take off young. Now I have leveled off. I'm like, okay, now I'm doing this. I look at my right side, there is no one. I'm literally alone. I'm like, okay, I got this. And then I started praying because I was like, if something happens here, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Started praying, but then I was singing gospel music. It was very, very calm. I took off, I did all my checks. I did a circuit up there, the weather was nice, everything was perfect, and I had the perfect landing.
I recently got my license on a Charlie 206, which is similar to a 172, but slightly bigger aircraft, in March 2026 this year. Charlie 172 is a training aircraft, a high-wing training aircraft. It can carry a maximum number of 4 people, 2 crew and 2 passengers. I went solo later in the day, around 5 o'clock to 6. So the sun was setting, it gave a beautiful view. The takeoff is what caught me since day one. If the takeoff doesn't catch you, I don't know what will. The landing was slightly more difficult compared to the takeoff, but I think I nailed it too.
My first solo, actually I was caught off guard. I thought between an offline instructor, but it came as a surprise, but actually it was a thrilling moment where I know I'm the one now able to fly, and it went quite well that I never expected that I can be the one in control and everything. It motivated me to achieve more, even to aspire for more, where I know I can do this, I can do this. I've done Shamva, I've done Bindura, I've been to Marondera, I've been to Domboshara, and many other places.
The students also reminisce about the day they had an honor of flying in the presence of the First Lady in 2024, an experience they described as a very inspiring one. According to CAT's chief flight instructor, Captain Rudoma Gwere, the students, who are affectionately referred to as the angels, have surpassed the expectations.
To date, we have 3 that have already gotten their private pilot license, namely Ayanda, Sifikile, and Tenani. And then the other 3 will be testing sometime next week. So in terms of progression and how they've adapted to becoming pilots, I'd say they fared very well. They've been very good with their subjects, they've been very good with their good conduct, and just the way they carry themselves. We realized that we're not just grooming individual pilots, but we're building a well-rounded pilot at the end of the day.
In an industry often seen as out of reach for rural and low-income families, these flights are tangible proof that the program is delivering results. Beyond flying skills, the scholarship also emphasizes mentorship and discipline, aligning with Dr. Mnangagwa's broader focus on education and skills development for vulnerable groups. With each flight, the 6 are moving closer to full qualification. More importantly, they are becoming visible proof for their communities that aviation is not reserved for the privileged. As their wings gain strength, the angels are carrying more than themselves into the air. They are carrying the hopes of families back home and a message that with support and hard work, even the wildest dreams can take off. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Mount Hamden.
Moving on, the Mutapa Investment Fund is seeking at least 250 million United States dollars to support gold production projects under its mineral vertical, Mutapa Gold Resources.
Mutapa Gold Resources, one of the important verticals under the Mutapa Investment Fund, is seeking at least 250 million United States dollars to support its life of mine operations and increase production statistics within the next 5 years. Now, the investment package that is outlined by the Mutapa Gold Resources is targeting to feed into its critical mines that include the Freda Rebecca Gold Mine in Bindura, as well as Jena and Shamba Gold Mine. One of the important projects that the company is looking at is the Shamba Hill Open Project, which is expected to significantly boost production yield at the mine. Mutapa Gold Resources Chief Executive Mr. Patrick Shaobaya says they are close to completing an investment vehicle of 75 million United States dollars through domestic resource mobilization.
We're going with the Shamba Hill project on our own as Mutapa Gold Resources. We're very close to finalizing a local loan facility of $75 million, which is what we'll use in the first part of the project, whilst we fundraise for the balance.
Once Shamba and Jena mines are fully established, expectations are this will support the broader vision to boost production and value addition.
We've succeeded the gold production that was being done before, specifically under Freda. So I think that's a positive trajectory, and intend to even increase gold production to about 570 kgs by 2028.
Mutapa Gold Resources is currently riding high on the successes of a strong performance recorded in the month of March. This after the company posted at least 340 kilograms of the elemental in terms of production. But there are expectations that this can actually be translated into double figures when the company invests. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
The Second Republic is transforming Zimbabwe's higher and tertiary education sector through massive infrastructure development projects being rolled out at universities as well as colleges across the country.
From innovation hubs and industrial parks to modern lecture theaters and student accommodation, Zimbabwe's higher education sector is undergoing a massive facelift under the Second Republic. The Midland State University Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Law School, that is right here, commissioned last year, headlined the accelerated infrastructure development in implementation of Education 5.0, focusing on research, innovation and industrialization across the country.
We have started off with the ED Mnangagwa Law School. That's now a block which is complete and it's now ready for use, and we are expecting students to be in by August. Then in terms of the expected expansion of this campus, we are also going to have the Faculty of Built Environment, Art and Design. That's the block which is coming up. We also have some hostels which are under construction. We expect again to accommodate the Faculty of Agriculture.
The Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Owen outlined the expansive infrastructure projects at various tertiary institutions across the province, contributing to economic growth as the construction link with downstream industries.
Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency, Comrade Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, we have seen infrastructural development at our universities. Innovation hubs have been built and modernized. Industrial parks have been constructed. And also in Midlands Province, we have benefited from the Emerson Dambudzo Law School.
The infrastructural transformation is now visible across the country, with universities evolving into innovation and production centers expected to drive Zimbabwe's industrialization agenda.
We are building institutions in every province, and with time, maybe in every district. We are building polytechnics, we are building teachers' colleges, we are building industrial training colleges.
As the Second Republic continues investing in higher and tertiary education infrastructure, institutions of higher learning are steadily positioning themselves as key pillars in the country's journey towards Vision 2030, with a knowledge and innovation-driven economy at the core of these processes.
Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
Retired senior army officer, Brigadier General retired Donald Selundi Chuma has died. He was 71. Now the Commander Zimbabwe National Army, Lieutenant General Asha Walter Tafumane, confirmed that Brigadier General retired Chuma died on the 15th of May in Bulawayo. Mourners are gathered at number 14010 Nkulumane in Bulawayo.
Remember, for these and other stories, you can log on to our website, www.zbcnews.co.zw, and you can interact with us on social media at ZBC News Online across all platforms.
And stories still to expect in this bulletin. We cannot wait to give you the arts news, where the Miss Universe Zimbabwe 2026 final 18 contestants have been announced. And later on in sport, the National Sports Stadium handed to the government after major refurbishment works. Well, the main news takes a short break. Stay with us.
Cicada unlocks EU financing and EU Zimtrade partnership benefits, thus enabling Isaac's farming business to flourish.
Kuminda benefits from EU Zimtrade partnerships, backing Taku's career, ensuring export quality.
2 hustles, 1 outcome. Everyone levels up together. From farms to cold rooms to global shelves, skills and teamwork are opening new paths every day. Stories of progress, wins worth celebrating.
Every day, millions of moments travel through the air. A call home, a payment made, a lesson learned, a life saved. But behind each moment is something steady, something quiet, unseen, unshaken, powering connection, supporting lives. This is Econet Infraco, Zimbabwe's largest private infrastructure group, comprising towers, power, and real estate. We build and operate the essential systems that hold the country together with scale, certainty, and purpose. We bring together 3 powerful engines of progress under one roof. Towers that carry the signal, clean energy that keeps it alive, and foundations that hold it all in one place. Because behind every connection, every transaction, every step forward, there's a quiet force. Econet Infraco, built for resilience, designed for growth.
We've always known what it takes to grow. But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. That this is actually mine feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you rule. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth.
Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the main news. The installation of cameras along major roads and busy intersections in Harare is set to curb traffic law violations as well as reckless driving, enhancing public safety.
The surveillance system being rolled out in the capital and on major highways is expected to help authorities monitor speeding, dangerous overtaking, running past red lights, illegal parking, and other road offenses that have contributed to rising road accidents. Motorists have applauded the development, saying it will promote safety and discipline on the roads and reduce carnage.
So kumakamera pamarobots zvinotibatsira kuti vanhu vazhinji tatinyanya musikanzwa saka zvinotiita kuti tive vanhu vakarurama tega
ndati pamakamera amakaisa anobatsira straight pane vamwe kuti pane pamared robots apa pana vamwe vari kubvongoenda kana vangopinda vangopfuurira panenge atori red robot
kamera ari kutibatsira semamotaristika hakuna dzimwe dzaipindira dziri kuti kuda kutena imwe nane kuseruko ida kupindira saka munhu asanyatsa kumira muleni nake rokufamba naro kana uchitena unomira leni nake rokutena naro.
The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Ambassador Rafael Faranisi, spoke to ZBC News, highlighting the initiative as part of broader efforts to modernize traffic management and enforce road regulations more effectively.
The installation of traffic lights is part of our introduction of the smart policing, which is meant to bring back sanity on our roads.
The government has assured the public that the surveillance system will be used for law enforcement and public safety purposes. The project seeks to be expanded to more roads across the country as part of efforts to create safer and smarter transport systems. Pavo Makona, ZBC News, Harare.
From that report by Pavel, we'll move on to other news where Zimbabwe and India are strengthening academic collaborations and human capital development, with 100 Zimbabwean students set to study in India under a new scholarship program.
Zimbabwe and India are strengthening ties in the education sector, with 100 Zimbabwean students set to study in India through a scholarship program being offered by India's Vivekananda Group of Institutes. The Institute's Director of International Affairs, Dr. Sunil Kumar Soni, who is in Zimbabwe to oversee the recruitment exercise, said the initiative aims to enhance academic cooperation and skills transfer between the two nations.
So we are very excited to announce that this year we are offering a 100% scholarship on tuition fees to all the Zimbabwean students. What we found in Zimbabweans, they are more inclined, they are more focused toward their education. Parents are more concerned about their children's education, so they invest a lot into this education.
The beneficiaries will undertake undergraduate and postgraduate studies in critical fields such as engineering, information communication technology, business administration, health sciences, and artificial intelligence. The scholarship programs align with Zimbabwe's heritage-based education model, which focuses on teaching, research, innovation, technology, and industrialization. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The preservation of heritage and promotion of cultural education has taken center stage as stakeholders reflect on the role that museums play in protecting the nation's history as well as identity.
Zimbabwe joins the rest of the world in commemorating International Museums Day this Monday, a day set aside to recognize the important role that museums and monuments play in preserving history and promoting cultural identity. The event was held at the Great Zimbabwe Monument, where primary school pupils from across the country participated at the national quiz competition, with Mapisa Primary School from Bulawayo taking the first position.
Yithi laba esiwina i-national quiz competition. Kuqakathekile kakhulu ukuthi sifunde ngani ngehistory because history impilo yethu.
The importance of learning about museums and our heritage is that it aligns with the heritage-based curriculum that our children learn at school, so it sharpens their brains and raises their IQ.
Zvatiri kuvavarira nhasi hatigoni kuzvisvika kana tisati taziva kuti taimbova vanani tikasvika patiri tichiinda mberi. Uyezve ukaona vana Great Zimbabwe havati Great Zimbabwe Monument, dzimba dzemahwe, ukaenda kumatopos, ukaenda kupi, vanhu vanoona sokuti mahwe ruzhinji yakangorongeka bodo. Uri kurava kunyanzvi hwedu.
Officiating at the event, the Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe, represented by Permanent Secretary Ambassador Raphael Faranisi, highlighted the importance of cultural preservation and heritage education.
In a world increasingly characterized by conflict, division, misinformation, and cultural disconnection, museums remain trusted public institutions that foster dialogue, mutual understanding, inclusion, and peace.
The National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe say the day is an important platform for promoting heritage preservation.
From the grand stone walls of Great Zimbabwe to the newly declared national monuments that tell the story of our liberation struggle, National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe is working tirelessly to ensure that those shells of tangible heritage continue to pulse with lifeblood of our communal traditions.
This year's International Museums Day is running under the theme Museums Uniting a Divided World. Mail Smatina, ZBC News, Mashingo.
Now, the government has reaffirmed that communal land is not for sale, warning villagers, traditional leaders, as well as land barons against the illegal parceling out of rural and peri-urban land as authorities move in to clamp down on widespread invasions those are happening across the country. Now, addressing the media in Harare this Monday, the Permanent Secretary for Presidential Affairs and Devolution in the Office of the President and Cabinet Engineer Tafadzwa Muguti said that the law is taking its course.
Our position is very clear that communal land is not for sale. We are noticing that there's rampant and escalating invasions of land which is taking place across the country. We are aware of this, and also the President Cabinet and the Minister of Lands and Rural Development is working closely to ensure that all of our ministers of state in all the 10 provinces are ensuring that we're going to really put an end to this. Would like to appeal to the general public, especially those in the rural communities, that if you see anyone coming across wanting to peg land, anyone coming across even the village head himself, you have the right to report this matter directly to the police. You also have the right to approach the Ministers of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, or the Secretaries for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, or the District Development Coordinators under the Ministry of Local Government. This is a matter which has been going on for the last 7 years, and we're seeing an escalation. And just to put the record straight, communal leaders, traditional leaders, are not allowed by the Communal Lands Act to sell land.
The main news takes a short break. Stay with us.
Cicada unlocks EU financing and EU Zim trade partnership benefits, thus enabling Isaac's farming business to flourish.
Kuminda benefits from EU Zim trade partnerships, backing Taku's career, ensuring export quality.
2 hustles, 1 outcome. Everyone levels up together. From farms to cold rooms to global shelves, skills and teamwork are opening new paths every day. Stories of progress, wins worth celebrating.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches from as little as $10. Live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
Cicada unlocks EU financing and EU Zim trade partnership benefits, thus enabling Isaac's farming business to flourish.
Kuminda benefits from EU Zim trade partnerships, backing Taku's career, ensuring export quality.
2 hustles, 1 outcome. Everyone levels up together. From farms to cold rooms to global shelves, skills and teamwork are opening new paths every day. Stories of progress, wins worth celebrating.
UZ 2026 Research, Innovation and Industrialization Week.
Theme: Advancing Transdisciplinarity for Impact and Competitiveness of Zimbabwe's Critical Value Chains. Are you ready to experience the future of Zimbabwe? Driven by research, innovation, and industrialization, the University of Zimbabwe invites you to the 2026 Research, Innovation, and Industrialization Week, taking place at the University of Zimbabwe Innovation Hub from Monday 18 May to Saturday 23 May 2026. Come and witness how the University of Zimbabwe is implementing the heritage-based Education 5.0 through the transformation of ideas into real-world solutions. What to look forward to on Tuesday, 19 May. Join a timely high-level dialogue led by the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education as Zimbabwean Parents' Education Dilemma, ZimSec or Cambridge. On Wednesday, 20 May at 9 a.m., attend the official book launch of 2 of our books at the University of Zimbabwe Innovation Hub. On Friday, 22 May at 10:30 a.m., don't miss the critical dialogue on the Pan-African Repatriation of Cultural Heritage Framework. Throughout the week, explore cutting-edge exhibitions, meet innovators, connect with industry leaders, witness live pitch competitions, and celebrate excellence through prestigious awards. Admission is free. Come learn, come connect, come shape Zimbabwe's future. University of Zimbabwe, educating to change lives. Follow #UZ2026RIIW for the full program. Email uzresearchweek@uz.edu.zw.
Welcome back. You're still watching the main news. We now take a look at our arts and entertainment news, and I've been itching to get to this story because the race for the Miss Universe Zimbabwe 2026 crown has intensified after the final 18 contestants were announced. Now, the contestants will battle for 5 international titles at the June 6 finale, and it will be happening right here in Harare.
The 2026 Miss Universe Zimbabwe competition has entered a crucial phase after the unveiling of the final 18 contestants set to walk the stage at the Hippodrome on the 6th of June. ZBC News anchor Mona Lisa Dube is among the finalists in a strong field featuring internationally experienced beauty queens, established names, and emerging talent. The other finalists are Norma Mokoni, Charmaine Mavundwe, Ruimbo Jomboro, Rose Ann Hall, Kudzaisha Mamuka, Jemima Mandemwa, Brunette Makanyiso, Virginia Nyambe, Nicole Nyawera, Cindy Sondlovu, Paris Huni, and former Miss Zimbabwe Malaika Mshandu, Kuzwa Kwashe Mjakachi, Shelly Bent, Tatiana Madzinga, Adeochi Namasa, and Sheri Usambadzai. This year's competition carries added significance with 5 queens set to represent Zimbabwe at Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss Cosmo, Miss International, and Miss Supranational. Organizers have also confirmed that Miss Universe 2019 winner was Bini Tunzi from South Africa, who hosts the grand finale, adding further international prestige to this year's event. Expectations are even high as the finalists prepare for the event after Zimbabwe's strong showing on the international pageant stage last year. Patience Nyakati, CBC News, Harare.
Well, some very pretty faces on this year's Miss Universe. And a familiar face as well. And now, Mona Lisa, we read the news. Now, you are the news. Tell us how's that going.
I was saying it the other day. I didn't realize how exciting it is to be featured in the news. Like, it's been so exciting for me. It's been such an exciting journey.
And
I've been seeing the love and the support.
That will happen today?
Sorry?
For that to happen today.
Absolutely. Like when I'm actually on duty today, it's amazing. And I need people to vote for me to make it for People's Choice.
And where do they do that?
At the Miss Universe website.
Amazing. Amazing. That's all we had to take a look at in our arts and entertainment news. Let's take a break because we now take a look at sport after this.
Cicada unlocks EU financing and EU Zim trade partnership benefits, thus enabling Isaac's farming business to flourish.
Communal benefits from EU Zim trade partnerships, backing Taku's career, ensuring export quality.
2 hustles, 1 outcome. Everyone levels up together. From From farms to cold rooms to global shelves, skills and teamwork are opening new paths every day. Stories of progress, wins worth celebrating.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Honorable Monica Mchangwa, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Dr. Jennifer N. Mhlanga, and Honorable Kevin Mutimbanyoka, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mavis Sibanda, Chief Directors, and the entire staff of the ministry extend their heartfelt congratulations to Honorable Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza on her appointment as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Zimbabwe. This historic appointment marks a proud and defining moment for Zimbabwe, as Honorable Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza becomes the first woman to ascend to the highest judicial office in the country. Her appointment is not only a recognition of her outstanding competence, integrity, and distinguished service, but also a powerful testament to the confidence and trust bestowed upon women by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, to lead at the highest levels of national governance and decision-making. As a ministry championing gender equality and women's empowerment, we celebrate this milestone as a significant step in promoting women into leadership positions and breaking barriers that have historically limited women's participation in key sectors. We are witnessing women of intellect, capability, and stature rise to the pinnacle of professional endeavor. We do extend our sincere appreciation to His Excellency, President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, for his continued commitment to advancing gender equality and creating opportunities for women to lead and contribute meaningfully to national development. To Honorable Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza, may your tenure be guided by wisdom, courage, fairness, and unwavering commitment to justice. Congratulations, Honorable Chief Justice. May your leadership inspire generations of Zimbabwean women to rise, lead, and leave a lasting legacy. Makorokoto Amhlobe.
Hundreds of battles fought across the continent by the princes of Europe. Astonishing! But history doesn't care who almost won. It only remembers the name on the trophy. One night to decide it all on the ultimate stage, 30th of May. Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the UEFA Champions League final. It's on.
Welcome back. We now look at sport. Sakunda Holdings, which entered into a public-private partnership with the government in order to refurbish the National Sports Stadium, has handed over the facility after the completion of major works.
After years of silence and decay, the iconic National Sports Stadium is finally breathing back to life. Closed since 2023 and abandoned by the national team in 2021 when CAF gave an adverse report. The giant facility is now on the verge of reopening following major refurbishment spearheaded by Sakunda Holdings under a public-private partnership with the government. Tasked with transforming the heart of Zimbabwean football, Sakunda Holdings undertook critical renovations including installation of a new playing turf, bucket seats, upgrading technical areas and modern changing rooms, restoring hope to the country that once again football can be played right here. While the final touches are still being completed, other contractors ahead of the CAF inspection and approval, the stadium is now ready for use by local teams, marking a significant milestone in Zimbabwe's football journey to international football relevance.
Sakunda Holding yakauya ikazvipira ikatipa ikatisira macheya muri kuona zvekugarira izvo zvokuti ukatarisa nemaziso wega unoziva kuti pakaitwa basa nemazvo. Tikati vatigadzirire nhandare iyo inoyi giraundi rinoshandiswa nevana. Ndinoda kuti nditende pari zvino Sakunda Holding zuva ranhasi vatidana kuti vatipe pachena pajekerere kuti basa ramakatipa tapedza.
Nyika inovakwa nevene vayo ndiisuwo vene vacho. Tinozvirumbidza, tinofunga kuti it is the way that nations have been built. Government ichitungamira vanhu tichishanda nesimba kuteera kuri kutonganwa gavhimenti yedu is exactly the thing to do.
Stakeholders who are going to be using this facility have expressed their satisfaction with ground set to reopen end of month.
The biggest pain for us as the administrators of football, as well as the administrators of all the national teams, has been the pain of looking for resources to go outside the country. But with this development, it's evident that the next matches will be playing here.
The improvements that have been done to the stadium are quite fantastic. We have been having a challenge of stadiums where you have been seeing that we had a number of teams which were sharing one stadium, so it was sort of congested.
The Red Derby that was played just 2 weeks ago highlighted how Zimbabwean football can be like at its peak, but it also showed the shortcomings with more than 25,000 fans paying to watch the derby, while more than 5,000 were turned back home. This will now be a thing of the past, as the new National Sports Stadium, the refurbished stadium, will now take 44,000 fans. Lawrence Tuseda, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, Lawrence also compiled on how veteran coach Kelvin Kayindu is rolling back the years after guiding debutants Hard Rock to the summit of the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League after 13 matches.
While Texture Chiragui and his Caps United have deservedly grabbed the headlines for their impressive start to the season, Kelvin Pastor Kayindu has silently been performing miracles at Hard Rock. Last week, the Kasongo boys briefly enjoyed life at the summit before being knocked off at the top spot. But with Makepekebe dropping points at the weekend, Hard Rock took full advantage and are now level on points with Caps United, whose inferior goal difference has seen them dropping to second on the table. The club made plenty of noise during pre-season over their stadium renovations and aggressive recruitment drive, but on the pitch, the Zambian tactician has built a fearless and efficient side that has already amassed 8 victories, the joint highest tally in the league this season. The Kwekwe-based outfit has also emerged as the league's most potent attacking side with 21 goals so far, spearheaded by last season's Golden Boot winner, Washington Navaya, who has already struck 6 times this campaign. It has not only been about flair and firepower at Hard Rock, but they've also shown steel at the back, conceding just 7 goals, only one more than defending champion Scotland, who boast the league's meanest defense. Kayindu is no stranger to success at this level. Last season, he masterminded Dynamo's dramatic turnaround, leading the Glamour Boys on a lengthy unbeaten run that ultimately saved them from relegation. During his first stint at Highlanders, the season, the Gaffer twice came agonizingly closer to league glory, finishing runners-up in consecutive seasons after losing the title on goal difference on both occasions. Maybe, just maybe, this could finally be the year Kelvin Kayindu gets his hands on the elusive league title that has narrowly escaped him for so long. Lawrence Tusida, ZBC News, Harare.
Correctional Queens continued with their flawless start to the season, taking over pole position in the Women Premier Soccer League after match day 5.
Correctional Queens moved to the top of the table with 15 points after a 2-0 victory away to Chapungu Queens. Correctional Queens are yet to concede after 5 games, proving they are up to task with 18 goals scored. They toppled Chapungu Queens, who were boasting of an impressive record of 4 wins in 4 games, with 25 goals scored and just 3 conceded. The loss saw Chapungu Queens dropping to 4th with 12 points. Defending champions, Hirantals are second with 18 points after delivering the weekend's most emphatic result, a 14-0 demolition of Rise of Hope Academy. They are level with the Platinum Royals, who lie third on goal difference. Black Rhinos Queens continued their solid start with a 5-0 away win at Cranbourne Royals, lifting them to 5th on 11 points, while Kwekwe Queens are 6th with 10 points. Faith Drive and Harare City Queens are still the top 8 with 7 points apiece. On the other hand, Rise of Hope Academy remain rooted at the bottom without a point. Geza Platinum Queens and Conjit Academy are struggling on just a point each, while Caps United Royals are not far above the danger zone with the 2 points. Anasha Mrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, that's all we had to take a look at in our sports news. Let's now take a look at the weather.
Hello, welcome
welcome. It's time for the weather news. We had a quite chilly weather for the past few days with cloudy, windy and cool conditions prevailing this morning over much of the southern parts of the country. And this was due to the cool, moist winds that emanated into the country from the southeast, while much of the western areas experienced clear skies in the morning. However, as the day made headway, we had partly cloudy and warm conditions prevailing across much parts of the country. Some areas even receiving light rain before cooling towards the evening, returning to cold conditions. Now, as our field of moisture shifts further eastwards, we're expecting some clearing over the western regions, resulting in reduced overnight temperatures over the western areas. However, partly cloud conditions are expected overnight across much parts of the country. Very cold conditions are expected over the central parts as well as Matabele and South Province. Slightly decrease in our maximum temperatures tomorrow for much of the day over the southern parts, as we're still expecting some cloud cover. Warmer over the northern parts of the country. Blawayo cold in the morning, becoming warm as the day progresses with some brief cloudy periods throughout the forecast period. Same applies for Matopos. Cool at first, becoming warm by the afternoon. Some briefly cloudy periods throughout the forecast period. Gwanda as well. Some clouds are expected from Tuesday onwards, with all cold in the morning with warm afternoon conditions. Now, as we move forward into the Midlands province, very cold in the morning, becoming warm as the day progresses. Some sunny conditions on Wednesday expected. Same applies for Masvingo. Some cloud breaks expected as we head into the middle of the week, as we're expecting some moisture to shift further eastwards. Same applies for Mutare. Brief cloudy periods, though cold in the morning with warm afternoon conditions before cooling towards the evening. Nyanga area, we're still expecting some cloudy conditions for Tuesday and Wednesday. Very cold in the morning. Same applies for Marondera. Cold conditions are expected in the morning, becoming warm as the day progresses under cloudy conditions. Harare as well, partly cloudy for much of the day, though cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Kaduma, partly cloud conditions with cool morning conditions and warm afternoons. Chinhoyi as well, some sunny skies are expected for Tuesday, becoming cloudy from Wednesday onwards, though cool in the morning with warm afternoon conditions. Clearing over Victoria Falls area there. Sunny Tuesday, becoming cloudy on Wednesday onwards. Lupani, some clouds are expected for much of the forecast period, though should be cool in the early hours of the day. Bindura as well, cloudy conditions still expected for Tuesday and Wednesday. Cold mornings and warm afternoons are expected. Warmer conditions in Kariba area.
Well, that weather report concludes the main news for this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Annalisa Dube.
And my name is Malvin Matava. Maybe soon to be Mr. Universe on account of Miss Universe. And Susan Masono has given us the bulletin in sign language. Not forgetting the entire crew behind the scenes from RCA on the main news. Good night.
Good evening.